cannot wait. We have an amazing young lady on, but I'm going to tuck her away in the green room, if you will, because she is definitely a surprise. You're going to be blown away about what you hear from our guests. But before you hear from our guests, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming from Houston, Texas. I'm live in Houston, Texas. And I can tell you this, not only is everything bigger in Texas, it's literally hotter in Texas for real. I just came from this amazing, this huge farmers market. Boy, did they have everything. I'm talking about huge, big watermelons. The mangoes were unbelievable, right? They looked like ostrich eggs. They were huge. But I am Dr. Tina D. Lewis. I am the founder of Global Women Speakers, and I'm super stoked to be here with you guys, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon. It is 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern, and I am ecstatic. It's midday. And the lady that is going to share today, listen, she is a beast. As I put in the description, she is fierce. She is literally from England, but she lives in Singapore. Like, thank God we don't look like what we've been through, because her story from rags to riches, it's not your normal rag to riches story. It's not that, oh yeah, someone passed away and they left her an inheritance. That's not her story at all. It's not that she married some extremely wealthy man and she became wealthy or rich. That's not her story either. And I'm going to just say this. If you are considering, if you are committed, if you're dedicated, if it is your goal, your life's work to change your financial situation, not just of you, but of generations, if you are going to break that generational curse of poverty, of lack, then grab a pen and paper. I have a pen and paper. I made my first 6 figures in 45 days, made 7 figures in 9 months. Listen, grab your pen and paper. Why? Because you can listen, but your memory is not as sharp as both. I want you to listen, but I also want you to take copious notes, because her story is not just compelling. The strategies, the practical, like literally blueprint that she's going to lay today for you to be successful, because it's not about us at all. No one's getting paid to be here. Matter of fact, she woke up at 3 a.m. Can you guys hashtag 3 a.m. in the chat? She got up at 3 a.m. She's in Singapore. 3 a.m. simply to give a contribution. And you've all heard me say it multiple times over and over, that at one point in all of our lives, we must get past simply making money, earning a living, and being successful, and start living a life of significance and contribution. And that's exactly what she has done. I call her my sister. She introduced me to this drink. I don't even know what it's called, but I know everyone drinks it. Everyone's love it. I hear that people order it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's just the grossest thing ever. But it's a classy lady drink. I do not like it. I guess I'll try it again with her, but she turned me out. Just want to let you know that. She turned me out in Madrid. She is absolutely amazing. She's beautiful on the inside and the outside. And she's gone all in. It's kind of like if you have a ham, right? A ham and egg breakfast. Which one gives all they got and go all in? The pig. Let me tell you why. The egg comes from the chicken. The chicken just says, you know what, I'm going to lay an egg or two. It's not intentional. It just lays an egg too. And so they take the egg, but the chicken still has its life to go along and either lay eggs, do whatever it wants to do. But that ham comes from that pig. And little Porky, or whatever you want to call it, right? The little piggy gave its all for us to have that ham and breakfast. It gave its life. And that's exactly what Pauline is doing right now. I'm going to bring her to the forefront. Her name is Pauline Kirk. Listen, Pauline Kirk. She's unbelievable, phenomenal, fierce, epic, all by herself. I want you guys to go ahead and show her some love. Please welcome the one and only, all the way from Singapore. Didn't I say we were global? Didn't I say that global women speakers were global? No, we're not on a Zoom. She's not just, no, she lives in Singapore, all the way from England. I'm going to bring her to the forefront. Please welcome my friend, my sister, none other than the Pauline Kirk. Hi, Sissy. How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you, beautiful?
I am absolutely exhausted. But I am amazing. Listen, I have been on a tour. I have gone, listen, from LA, from Los Angeles, all the way to Alabama, from Alabama to New Orleans, and now I'm in Houston, leaving out today or tomorrow to go back to LAX to California because we are speaking, Pauline, at the University of Johannesburg. It is going to be explosive. Not only are we speaking in Johannesburg, but we're also going to do a TED Salon. For those of you who do not know, TED has 3 different components. One is, of course, a TED Talk. The other is a TEDx Talk, and the other is a TED Salon. A TED Salon is where members of the community, along with dignitaries, politicians, etc., come together and talk about a title to garner and polarize the community to bring forth a solution, or at least communication, right? At least dialogue. And so we're going to participate in a TED Salon. I'm stoked. I'm like literally excited. I cannot wait. It will be my first time ever in South Africa. We're going to be in Johannesburg. We're going to Cape Town. I'm going to tell you more about that at the end, but it's not about us right now. It is about you. I don't know how you do what you do. Every time I talk to you, in a different country. Like I go island hopping, she goes country hopping. Like, how do you do that? Right? She was in Madrid. She was like, oh, from Madrid, I'm going to Singapore. From Singapore, I'm going to Dubai. From Dubai, I'm going to Ireland. Like she's just all over. So first of all, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for saying yes, not just to me, but for every woman that hears this Sunday Speaker Series sponsored by Global Women Speakers, whenever they hear it, right? For those of you who are watching this live, hashtag live in the chat right now. I want to see some chats. Hashtag live in the chat. Wow, I didn't. Okay, listen, if you are watching this live from Facebook, please go to facebook.com/StreamYard. So you can give StreamYard permission to use your name and your photo. So I'm just going to start from here. We have a Facebook user that says, hey, Tina D. Lewis and Global Women Speakers. Hey. And then we have, wow, we have someone saying brand and business astrology. Awesome. Hey, good to see you too. We also have Glendora. She says, got my pen and paper. So Pauline, are you ready for this? And we also have a Facebook user that hashtag 3am. If you're watching this through Facebook, please give Facebook permission to just simply use your photo and your name. And we also have Dr. Judy Wright, all the way from New York. She is one of the visionaries of our anthology, Global Women in Medicine. Global Women in Medicine. If you are involved in medicine in any capacity, you want to reach out to Dr. Judy or Dr. Sherry. Yeah, she says Pauline Kirk is the truth. Woo! Yes. Dr. Judy, yes. Uh-oh, Pauline drops gems. Okay, so listen, you already hear this, and she hasn't even spoken yet. So if you are hearing this and she has not, these are testimonies, and she has not even spoken yet, that means stay tuned. Let's see, we have a Facebook user that says, yes, awesome. Wow, I love this. Glendora Divine. Hey, I love it. Yes, thank Glenn. She put her name there. Yes. Hashtag Dr. Judy all the way from New York saying live. Yes. All right. So ladies and the gentlemen who love us and support us, we appreciate you for being here. Once again, I'm Dr. Tina D. Lewis, the founder of Global Women Speakers. And I can tell you this, it is a movement. It's not about me at all. I promise you. And those women that know of Global Women Speakers or that's a part of it, listen, we are not just like-minded, we are like-hearted, and we're here to serve. And that means Pauline Kirk is no different. So without further ado, I just want you to say hi to the people, tell them who you are, tell them what you do without sharing your story. So Pauline, over to you. Who you are, what you do, and most importantly, why you do it. Take it away.
Thank you so much, lovely. Hello, everyone. My name is Pauline. I'm the founder and CEO of Femvestorsglobal, and we support women in becoming financially fabulous. We set up this mission because I wanted to support women when it comes to our money. And I'll share my story in a bit, but I've got my own journey around what it took me to get out. Like Dr. Tina mentioned, I had to find a way to get myself out of my own situation when it came to my own personal debt. Like Dr. Tina says, I didn't marry rich. I didn't win the lottery. I had to literally go through hard work, grind, and determination to succeed. And I want every single woman to succeed when it comes to her money.
I need you to repeat that part again. I told you that we have something here on Sunday Speaker Series, sponsored by Global Women Speakers. It's called a pause break. So, what was that last? What is it that you desire? What is it that you just shared? You said you want every woman to
be amazing, financially fabulous with her money.
With her money, not his money. No, not
her
his
money. No,
her money,
her own money. Her own money.
Not with her inheritance. No.
Well, if she has an inheritance, that's amazing. But I still want her to look after her own money, regardless of where it comes from.
Right, absolutely. And so if you can hear the passion in Pauline's voice, you heard exactly what I heard the moment I met her. Like before she even spoke and was on stage, I have fallen in love with her. For multiple reasons. Who you see now, that smile is genuine, and it wasn't always a smile. All of our smiles that you see now were at one point a frown, literally a frown at one point. And sometimes you just have to take responsibility, of what you want. You have to create the life that you desire. And so that's exactly what Pauline did. And so, Pauline, I know your story, and I'm going to grab a tissue because every time you talk about it, I'm like, wow, like how can this happen? And Glendora said #live. Glendora, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching live. We have Faith James in the house, who actually was in New York speaking, and she actually won one of the Global Women Speakers Award as being a top speaker. So congratulations to the Faith James. We appreciate you for being here. So with that being said, as Faith James just put in the chat, financially fabulous, because that is what you do, Pauline. I want you to simply share your story. Like, how did you didn't marry rich, you didn't get in a lump sum, a life insurance policy, an inheritance, etc. What made you realize that it was time for you to take your money personal? So, Pauline, please share. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Tina. So I actually, when I think back into the military, so I actually served in Iraq in 2002, 2003. I actually spent 8 months out there. And when I returned, I was never the same person when I left. And for me, PTSD was never a thing then. And the only way for me personally of coping was to literally put my credit card and tap it online and go, wow, I feel so good about myself. I feel amazing. I have this huge dopamine hit inside me. And every time I spend money, it makes me feel great. And I buy clothes, shoes, makeup, get my hair done, get my hair done, whatever it may be, to make me feel better about myself, because I really lacked self-worth. To the point where I had 10 credit cards. Yes, 10 credit cards with over $120,000 in debt. It was actually in pounds, but over $120,000 to debt in today's money. And on top of that, because I lacked self-worth, I actually dated the wrong guys. Not once, but twice. And I was also guarantor for a property, as well as guarantor for a business. And it didn't go well. And I also had to pay off that debt as well. So you can imagine, and most of us have been in that situation.
No, you can't imagine. Pause, break, pause. Like, listen, ladies, I need you to let me know that you're present. If you are listening to the sound of Pauline's voice, I want you to hashtag hear you. Just simply hear you. Let me tell you why. She just said that, one, she talked about relationships. She dated the wrong guy, not once, but twice. She talked about having PTSD. It's normally not spoken about when it pertains to women. When you think of the military and you think of PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, your imagery is a male, not a female. That's number two. Number three, what made her feel good was not alcohol, drugs, promiscuity, but shopping. She had an addiction, not a habit. She had an addiction. 10 credit cards, maxed out. She had over $100,000 in debt. And she was a guarantor of a property that wasn't even hers. She was a guarantor, meaning she guaranteed the bank that if anything happened, that she would be financially responsible for it. Come on, somebody. I need you to go ahead, tag somebody in the group, tag them on YouTube. Go ahead and reach out to your LinkedIn connections and let them know that they need to be here to hear the Pauline Kirk. They need to hear what happened next, because this, she doesn't stop here and then goes on to become the Pauline Kirk who you see today, ladies and gentlemen. But there's more. So I'm going to remove myself to the background. But that was a pause break. Number one, the relationships. Who's in your circle? Who are you allowing access to you? Everyone does not deserve the balcony, the orchestra seat. Some people deserve the balcony. Some deserve the orchestra. Don't give everyone the orchestra role to your life. And think about a symphony. Sometimes in order to hear music and to direct your own life, you have to turn your back on a crowd. What an analogy. I'm going to go ahead, Pauline. I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for your authenticity. Back over to you.
Dr. Tina. Thank you. So, as Dr. Tina says, she talks about relationships. And my quote is, for those that know me, is hashtag, a man is not a plan. I'll say that again, hashtag, a man is not a plan. Most people think that men are going to come and save us. And the only people who are going to save us is we're going to save ourselves. And I had to save myself. I had to wake up, and only I could wake up in my own time and realize that this situation could not continue. So I'm sure there's many people listening right now. I'm sure there's many men and women listening right now where they feel like there's no way out when it comes to our money. And it's interesting how money takes a hold of us. It takes control of us. And I had to let my money not control me. I had to control my money. So how did I do it? So first of all, I had to take my head out the sand. This is after I was putting my finger on the button, potentially filing for bankruptcy. And for me, it was such a big thing. For someone who's come as a military officer, people saluted you and called you mom, and suddenly everyone's put yourself on a pedestal for so long. And here I am with no debt, with a lot of debt. And I had to find a way. So I put my finger literally on the enter button to file for bankruptcy. And I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I was too ashamed. I was too embarrassed. A lot of guilt. And I had a decision to make. I had to take the red pill or the blue pill. And the red pill was just keep doing as I was doing, keep taking the phone calls, keep getting the letters through the door, keep getting the reminders letters, the final reminders letters, the constant hassle from the banks, the credit card companies. Or I could do something about it. And I didn't know what I was going to do about it, but I had to do something. And I say either way, choose your hard. Because each way is hard. You got to choose which hard you want. So do I take the easy route or the hard route? Because both ways are hard. Doing nothing's hard, but doing something is also hard too. But I didn't want to be labeled. I didn't want to put my finger on the enter button and have this black mark over my head for the rest of my life. So I made a different decision. I made a decision that something was going to change because I was ready to change. I was at the lowest point of my life. I used to get in a friend's car and drive, and sometimes I think, is this the only way? I used to have these horrific, dark thoughts inside me and go, you know what? Is there a way out? And I was like, there is always a way. And for those that used to love Oprah, because we used to have Oprah in the UK, I used to watch Oprah, and I used to think to myself, Oprah's going to find a way. I got to find a way too. So Oprah actually, in my early part of my life, actually shaped myself in terms of finding a way, because I knew that she would find a different way, and therefore I had to find a way too. So she was my inspiration. So for me, I was like, what would Oprah do? So then I had to think about what would Oprah do. But I had to find it inside me. So first thing I did was, you know what? I got to take my head out of the sand. I actually need to understand, first of all, where am I actually at today in terms of my finances? I know I own a lot of debt. I actually don't even know how much debt I own. I just know I get lots of reminders, lots of red letters, lots of phone calls. I actually don't have any idea about how much debt I'm actually in. So the first thing was to literally acknowledge. And that was to literally go, right, now I need to wake up. I need to wake up. I need to go through the bank statements. I need to go through the credit card statements. And I actually just need to be aware of where I am today. That's the first thing, is acknowledgement. And in a way, it was a sense of relief because I was like, I actually know now the extent of my situation. Because before that, I had no idea. I just knew I had lots of clothes in the wardrobe, lots of bags, lots of nice things. But I didn't actually know the extent of how much in debt I really was. So that's step one, is to acknowledge. Step two is then around, right, okay, now I've acknowledged it, and now to do something about it. Because, like I said, the black market filing for bankruptcy for me was not an option. So I was like, right, I need to work it out. I need to look at my credit cards. I need to look at which ones I owe, which one's got the highest rate of interest on. I need to start looking into this in a lot more detail. So then what I did was I then started to move some credit cards around because banks give you lots of money when you don't need it. So what I did was I literally took out a credit card that had 0% interest. And I started to move the biggest credit card over in terms of the highest interest amount onto free interest credit cards. And therefore then I knew I was actually paying off the debt, not just paying off the interest at 18, 19, 20, 21% interest. That was the first thing I needed to do. What else I did, because everyone lends money when you don't need it, I took out a loan. I took out a loan to pay off all the other debts that I had in terms of credit card debt, and I paid off all those debts by taking out a loan and paying it all off. Then I cut up all 9 credit cards, and the one that I had at 0% interest, I actually kept in the freezer. Yes, that's right. I kept it in the freezer because I knew I needed a credit card for a rainy day, for something that may come up, for some unknown expense. I just said, I'm going to keep one and I'm going to cut up all the other 9. And that's exactly what I did. So I actually took the one in the credit cards. I never took it anywhere with me. I just left it there. And it was only for emergencies. From there, then what I did was then to start to go, right, every time I got some money coming in, I started then put together a plan around paying off the debt every month, paying off the loan every month, paying off that one credit card with the interest at 0%, paying that off every single month. And I had a hustle. I wasn't earning a lot of money, so therefore I got another job. Cut long story short, I actually had 3 jobs on the go at one time. I also slept on a friend's floor because I knew I couldn't afford to pay the rent.
Okay, I'm trying to hold my peace. I just cannot wait. First of all, I'm gonna reverse engineer. We're gonna start where you left off. You slept on a friend's floor. What was that about? Is it because you made the sacrifice to put your debt before your comfort, or is it because you could not afford to have a place on your own?
Both, to be honest, Dr. Tina. So I couldn't afford a place on my own, and it wasn't about me anymore. It was around I had to get out of this situation, and I would do whatever it took to get myself out of this situation. So I slept on a
Wow.
friend's floor. I literally that's all I did was couch surf, I think some people call it. So yeah, that's all I did was literally sleep on friends' floors. I didn't want to keep staying in one place for so long. And literally then that's what I did was just to go, right, I don't want to be a burden on anyone. So then I just started to stay at friends' places to then just go, you know what, can I just crash here for a bit? I just need to sort myself out. And
Wow.
I didn't even want to stay at my parents' house because I was so embarrassed. I grew
Right.
up in a family where we never spoke about money. Nothing against my parents, but we just never spoke about money. And therefore I was
Right.
so embarrassed to talk about it.
That's a pause break. Matter of fact, if you come from a financial background, historically familial, where you did not talk about money, I want you to hashtag put the emoji with the sound over the finger over the mouth like this, or just put hush money. Hashtag hush money. Faith James says, put the credit card in the freezer for a rainy day. Yes, we have Dr. Judy said, choose your heart. Absolutely. Yes, I love it. Yes. Glendora said, head out of the sand. Woo, that's deep. by any means necessary. I love it. And Pauline, your story without you even share with knowing is really talking to me. Like my lease for my penthouse is an enormous. I am never there. This is August. June, I was home for probably 6 days. July, I was home for literally maybe 5 to 7 days. And I used to Airbnb, right? And so I'm looking at like, what am I doing? Like, I would love to take that lump sum of money, put it on credit cards, or just finish traveling the world. I'm just saying. Come to Singapore, hang out with my sis, so there you said choose your heart. I love that because it's hard to throw away money. Like, I don't own the penthouse, but I love the penthouse. It overlooks the water. I wake up, look at the yachts. So I love all of those things. However, I have to be more financially responsible because I have bigger goals, right? These last 5 months, Pauline, are crucial. I have a goal that I must accomplish, but not only for myself. There are women in a part of our association, a part of Global Women Speakers, a part of the Six Figure Incubator that are counting on me. They're counting on me. And I can't teach it if I don't live it. I cannot share it if I don't lead by example. And so I'm at a crossroads. So thank you for sharing those things. I know for a fact that I'm just going to do something drastic. I know what I need to do and what I want to do, but like you said, choosing your heart. And so thank you for being transparent. Thank you for being authentic. And thank you. Because here on the Sunday Speaker Series sponsored by Global Women Speakers, every woman, every guest that we have had has operated in 3 capacities: integrity, honest, and given a true blueprint, a true architecture structure plan of how to do something. Meaning, if they just go back and watch any of our Sunday Speaker Series, they would get not a nugget, but gems, because they last forever, right? A gem that does not dissolve, a gem that's applicable to any part of their life, whether it's in their winning season or their losing season. And it's okay to say losing. People say, no, I don't win, I don't lose, I just learn. No, you lose. It's nothing wrong with losing. Losing builds integrity. It builds character. It builds perseverance. It builds grit. It builds, I forget it. Pauline, okay, let's go back to why the freezer? Why the credit card in the freezer? I mean, like, out of all the places, a sock drawer, a panty drawer, like an old purse that you don't use, under the mattress, a safe deposit box, but the freezer, let's talk about that. You will not just get over that. And there's some ladies that are on the line that want to know about that as well. Faith James says the freezer. Oh, I can't teach it if I don't live it. Yes, absolutely. Cannot teach it if you don't lose it. Choose your heart. Facebook user. Yes, by any means necessary. Faith James, Glendora, head out of the sand. Yes, yes, yes. So I want to take my head out of the sand. Tell me why the freezer, a credit card in the freezer. So with that being said, Pauline, over to you.
Thanks, Dr. Tina. So why the freezer? Because yes. I had to literally go like this on the stripe where the white ice stuck to it. So then I actually had to go like this to actually read the number. So when you put it in the freezer, when it starts to stick and go really hard with the ice, I literally had to scrape it off so I could actually read the number on the card.
Wow.
I had it in sock drawers. I had it in, other places, but I knew I could just take it out and type in the number.
Right, exactly. I like it. I like it. I like it. So do whatever it takes for you, for it to be a hindrance, uncomfortable, right? So it can be in your face. Like, she didn't want to scrape off ice. Who wants to do that?
I had to defrost it. Because therefore it wasn't an impulse anymore. I had to wait for it to frost so I could scrape it off to then go, right, the ice has come away now. Then it's a decision about, do I use the card or not?
in your right mind. Yeah,
Otherwise,
it's kind
it's
of
like,
like,
oh, I've seen something online. It's a bargain. I want to get my credit card out now. There's a time scale on it. You know, it's like, quick, there's only 5 minutes left. Quick, I've got to get in. So
right? You
when
have
you
the
have
dreaded
this
countdown,
delay,
right? The dreaded countdown, five, 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 59 seconds, and it's ticking, 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 and you're like, you can't do that with a frozen credit card.
exactly. That's the reason I did it. So I don't know where I learned it, but literally it was something that I just did, and I just kept it in the freezer because then I knew then it wasn't a temptation as much, because it wasn't like, quick, get the credit card out, type the number in, get excited.
Wow. I love that. I love that. And we all have to put those parameters in our life to prevent us from self sabotage, right? Sometimes we have to sacrifice what we want now for what we want most. We have to sacrifice what we want now, that pair of shoes, that trip, that, that home shopping network item, whatever it is, that Amazon item, that Fashion Nova, whatever it is, that new tech thing, to enroll in that course that you're never going to open, buy another book, whatever it is, we have to put those parameters in place. And so I love that. I love that. So let's all today, as of today, let's implement one item that will prevent us from self-sabotage, whether it's to become financially free, like Pauline is going to share, whether it's to become fit. Like for me, I have to not buy the snacks. I used to buy them and say, I'll just have them so when I need them. But no, because guess what? My body always needs ice cream. I just had ice cream yesterday. My body needs ice cream. It just does. And now I'm like, what? Yeah, she said one of her clients wrote a book, Buy Home, Not Shoes. Buy Homes, Not Shoes. I love that. Yes, I love it. Yes, absolutely. So put those parameters in place. So for me, I just don't buy it, because if I buy it, it will not sit there, because at 10 o'clock, I'm still working. I'm not sleepy. It's quiet. And all you can hear is my crunch, because guess what Tina did? Tina had went out and got a chip. She got some chips, and I was like, I want to go eat a little bit. Next thing you know, the bag is gone. I didn't even know it, Pauline. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just ate a whole bag of chips. What am I going to do? Right. So yes, that's what those parameters, whether it's our money, whether it's our finances, and get this, even if it's your relationship, put those parameters in place. Wow, we have someone watching from Lagos, Nigeria. Yes, I love it. Talk about global women speakers. She's watching all the way from Nigeria. Not only that, speaking of Nigeria, we will be in Nigeria, global women speakers. Yes, we're going to Johannesburg the end of this month to speak at the University of Johannesburg. We will also be in Nigeria October 5th. We are going to have awards, and we're on billboards in Nigeria. So thank you for watching. We want to make sure that we're able to connect with you. Please allow Facebook permission to share your information with StreamYard. Go to facebook.com/StreamYard and grant them permission simply to use your photo and your picture. Wow, somebody said me. I love it. So Pauline, so we talked about choosing your heart. You chose to sleep on the floor. Like, we get it. I'm not going to get in more debt going to get a place. I'm going to be uncomfortable for a moment, because what I want most is more important, than what I want now. And so you were comfortable, but you were able to pay off your debt. So I'm going to remove myself, because I want to know, and I'm sure the audience wants to know. Yes, she says we are waiting. So we want to know exactly, not only did you come from having PTSD, not only did you come out of low self-esteem, not only did you come out of debt from having 10 credit cards maxed out, but you devised a plan, a strategy that was your CPR, that was your life jacket to get you out of debt. So take us from being in debt and being in that unhappy place to where some of us may be right now. And I want you to be that light that give us step by step what you did. And then we're not going to leave them based on what you were or who you were or how you thought. We want to take them into who is the Pauline Kirk right now. I share with them that you're fierce. I said that you're epic all by yourself, that you're phenomenal, that you are earth shattering, that you are a mover. I want them to know who I know. I want them to know who I know. And so, with that being said, I am going to move out of the forefront and give you the floor. Pauline, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Gina. So yes, that's right. So yeah, got myself eventually out of paying debt. So what did I do? It, something called financial success habits, because habits take 66 days to take effect. So I had to get into consistency, and consistency here is key. And if we're not consistent, it's not going to work. It's easy to fall back into the old ways. It's easy to fall back into, what we're used to. It's easy to fall back into our comfort zone. But I wasn't prepared to settle. And I had to work on my mindset around what was going to change. So for me, it's around, right, I've got the loan. I'm now working 3 jobs to pay it off every month. When I wasn't working, I was actually in the library reading a lot of books to then go, right, how am I going to do things differently? Because back then we didn't really have the internet. So it was barely, very light on, not really a lot of content out back then. So what I did was I started to then go to the library and read a lot of books around, success habits in terms of, mindset, Wayne Dwyer, Tony Robbins. So I started to go through these journeys of going, right, I've got to think about my mind here and around, if I can be miserable and sad all day, it's not going to help me. So I had to think about, like I mentioned about Oprah earlier, what would Oprah do? That's the way I started to think about with my mind, to go, right, now I'm in this situation, I'm going to start learning more. Then I wanted to start doing saying yes a lot more. So I would start applying for a lot of jobs. I'm starting to get educated a lot more, putting my hand up and going, yes, I'm going to go for that and see what happens. I wasn't someone who was just going to go, you know what, I'm just going to be in these roles, these 3 jobs that I'm in right now, because I need to earn more money. I need to pay off the debt quicker. So therefore, then the only way I've got 2 choices is to either 1, I need to earn more, or 2, I need to spend less. Well, I can't spend less because I've got the debt to pay off. So I had to earn more. I didn't have a choice. So for me, I had to find ways of earning more. And that was not just working 3 jobs, because yes, I'm working harder, but I'm not working smarter. So then what I did was, every time I saw a new role come up, I'd put my hand up and go, what? I'm going to nail that interview. I'm going to go and put myself out there. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And that's what I did. So every time I would see a role come up, I'm going to go, what? I'm just going to keep laddering my career to take me to the point where I can actually start paying off the debt a lot quicker, because the more money I have coming in, the more I can pay off my debt. And that's exactly what I did. So I started to then apply for jobs to go, you know what? I'm going to get educated in this. I spent a lot of time understanding about interview questions, how to be very good at interviews. And that's what I did. And therefore, then I used to get the role. Then I'd move up the ladder, move up the ladder, move up the ladder. So that's really what took me from where I started to where I ended up. And I actually ended up as a global director of one of the biggest mining companies in the world. So this is someone who started in a very small town in the UK with no real opportunities. I was in a military town. There wasn't really a lot there. It's mainly the tourism industry. And I had to find a way, to the point where I lived and worked in 10 different countries, because I was willing to say yes and put my hand up. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get on that plane. You know what? Whatever it takes, I'm just going to make it happen. And that's exactly what I did. I had to get myself out of debt by enabling myself to earn more money to pay off the debt. And I could have easily, every time I got more money coming in, every time I got a bonus or a pay rise, I could have easily fallen back into my old ways again of going, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to a pair of shoes because I deserve it. And I'm going to buy myself the nice bag because I deserve it. But the reality is, I don't want to live that life anymore, because all I kept thinking about is my future. I want to spend for tomorrow, not live for today. I want to live for today too, enjoy my life too. But at the moment, I just had to pay off the debt. And it's exactly what I did. Now, the good thing is, when I did pay off the debt, I now have money. I'm not used to having money because I've never had money before. So then I said to my girlfriends, what do you do now when you have money? My girlfriends are like, we just leave it in the bank and we just spend it because we don't know what else to do. And I knew that if I left my money in the bank, I would spend it, because I knew where I've come from. I had an emotional spending addiction for a very long time. And for me, I just wasn't prepared to just leave it in the bank and do nothing, because I could see it. Therefore, I could spend it. It comes back to habits. And therefore, I had to find someone to go, you know what? I need someone to look after my money, because I can't afford to look after it myself, because I know I'll probably drop into my old ways again. I just didn't trust myself. So then someone said to me, hey, I know a financial advisor, and you may have heard this story before from other people. They find a financial advisor. And I just remember this beautiful man turning up, very good looking, beautiful suit, very expensive, nice car. And I was just like, wow, like he must be making a lot of money, must be really successful. So it was someone who recommended me to him, came to a place where I was staying, filled in the forms, and he said to me, do you have any questions? And I was like, I don't know anything about financial education. And I was too embarrassed. I paid what I call the dumb tax. I just sat there. I was like, no, I understand everything. And the reality is I had no idea what he was talking about, but I didn't want to admit that. It goes back to the old thinking around, looking, wanting to look like I knew what I was on about. I don't want to have those feelings again of not knowing. So I was just like, no, it's okay. I'm good. I understood everything you said. Didn't have a clue. So then what I did was I ended up giving my money to him. Now, the reality is that it didn't work out. And that money that I thought I had is not the money that I ended up with. And that's the really sad fact. And then I knew from there that that was my mission going forwards, because I didn't want anyone else to go into the same situation as me when I look back now and reflect. And this is the reason why I created Femvestorsglobal, a community supporting women, supporting other women around the fact that we could be in a safe space to talk about any questions. I paid the dumb tax. I don't want anyone else. I don't want any other woman specifically to go through the same situation as me, where she suddenly now got no money because she didn't know what else to do.
Mm-mm-mm. I don't even know what else to say. Listen, I made a promise when we started doing Sunday Speaker Series in January of 2023. And I said, I promise to bring nothing but the best of the best, people who have actually done it and still doing it, not has-beens or historians, but people who are still action takers, change agents, and transformational. And what I do know, without a shadow of a doubt, that just simply the things that you're sharing. Listen, this Paulette Livingstone said that's eye-opening story. Yes, absolutely. James said, what Faith James says, was he a crypto investor?
You might as well have been. Who knows?
Facebook user said, what? Like, what? Wow, says Paulette. Like Glendora says, put yourself out there. Yes, I love this. Facebook user said, this is powerful. I agree with the Facebook user. Please allow Facebook to give StreamYard permission to use your beautiful face and your photo. This is so unbelievable. Glendora says, spend for tomorrow. Wow. Like just that alone seems like an oxymoron. Spend for tomorrow. It's like, no, you spend for today, right? You spend for today. So it's totally a paradigm shift that we almost take. And I am guilty of it. I spend money that I mean, I went to farmers market, was not planned. So that's why I can't have a budget. And I shouldn't say I can't, because I know Pauline's going to say, oh no, you're going to have a budget. I know when we get off, she's going to say, oh, you're getting a budget and you're getting one now. Right. And so we go to farmers market, and I'm here in Houston, and it's one of the biggest farmers market that I've ever gone to. The mangoes were delectable. I just ate them walking around the store, the entire place. And I go to a couple of people that I want to support, young women entrepreneurs, and I didn't even want what they had. I was not interested, but guess what? I bought their products. And when it was $6, I gave her 20 just as a contribution. And I see that as like I'm giving back, right? I'm giving back, but it still should be, I should allot an amount a month or a week that I can deduct from my balance of what I am going to contribute, and not just randomly contribute. I just told you that I have been in Alabama, New Orleans, and now in Houston. I am not going to share how much money that I've spent, invested, right, with hotel, Ubers. with food, with supporting other people. I'm not going to share that. But what I am going to say is that, Pauline, I'm going to need you to help me. I don't want to call it a budget. Maybe it's in my mind, but I just don't want a budget. I don't want any restrictions. I want to be able to do what I want to do with my money, when I want to, how I want to. While, and Paulette said, it's horrible way, people manipulate others. Wow, yes, because Pauline took a break. Oh, look, Glendora said pause break. That she's a therapist, a licensed therapist, mental health, and she says, wait a minute, we need a pause break. You see that, Pauline? Like, she needed a pause break. Paulette says planting and sowing seeds is not bad, but yes, budget is something necessary. Absolutely. Agreed, agreed, agreed. And so, wow, Pauline, I mean, I don't even know where to start. All I can tell you is that your share is definitely sharing a part of your life. And that's why, we have the pause break, because people need to know that it happens to all of us. And no matter where you are in your life right now, whether you're in your winning season or you're in your not so winning season, I can tell you this, that it is not over until you win. That where you are, someone else has been or will be, for sure. It's guaranteed. Have you heard the saying, life be lifing? Life be lifing. And we know that's incorrect grammar, but life be lifing, meaning things are going to happen. There are some things that you can bet on. You can literally bet your life on in life, in this journey, right? You're going to have hurt. You're going to have pain. You're going to have rejection. You're going to have turmoil. You're going to have lessons, right? You're going to have those things. But I know also that what you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. And so, what are you going to use your energy for? Are you going to focus on what you don't have? Or are you going to focus on what you're getting ready to have? You cannot, listen, you cannot allow what you didn't do, what you should have done, what you could have done, stop you from what you're getting ready to do. And I can tell you that many times, and Pauline, correct me if I'm wrong, like when you were laying on that floor, you were like, you know what? I know this is temporary. I know this is not the end of my story. I know that I'm doing this for a bigger cause, and that bigger cause is going to propel me. It is going to be the catalyst to get me to where I'm going to be. And I'm going to ask you, was that floor, was those sacrifices of not shopping, was those sacrifices of having a frostbitten credit card, were those sacrifices worth it?
1,000,000% yes.
Wow.
Because I look back now, and I always say, winter is not forever. The dark is followed by the day. Winter is followed by spring and summer.
Hashtag. I need you to repeat that. That's a pause break. Can you say those two sayings? We're listening.
Winter is followed by spring and summer.
Yes.
The dark brings day.
Right. Hashtag the winner. Darkness brings day. Darkness brings day. Wow. Hashtag darkness brings day. Yes. Winter is followed by day, and spring and summer. Yes, I love it. You ladies are amazing. Yes. Glendora says you are giving back, and yes, you need to allot. We need to allot. You're right. I do. I need to allot an amount, right, that I'm going to use. It is better to be sure of the person you are trusting your resources with. Since I am not sure, I better keep my money and use it by myself. I love investing in real estate. I did this since the age of 21. Yes, and today, and it's making you smile. Awesome. That's great. Faith James says the dark is followed by the day. Absolutely. Ladies, Faith James, Glendora, Paulette, Dr. Judy, Facebook users, 3 Facebook users. Yes, Lisa. Yes, Renee. Yes. Cherie, all the way from Nigeria, all the way from, wow, Italy. Good to see you here. I just want to read those names off just to say thank you so much for being here, ladies. We appreciate your engagement. We appreciate you being here live because we know that you could have done anything on this beautiful Sunday afternoon and you made a conscious decision to be here with us with Global Women Speakers. And for that, we say thank you. So, Pauline, like, tell them who you are. Let them know, like, yes, that is your story, but now they see your glory. And so I am going to remove myself because it's going to be explosive. If I stay on this stage with you any longer, I'm going to catch on fire. So I'm going to remove myself and turn it over to the multimillionaire. Did I say multimillionaire like over and over again? Did I say the woman who's not just a multimillionaire, but who helps women become multi-millionaires through investing? And so I'm just going to tell you, listen, God doesn't give it to you unless he can get it through you. He does not give it to you unless he can get it through you. And I promise you, it is coming through this lady. She is the founder of Femvestorsglobal. She's global. She's in Singapore. I told you she continent hops. I only island hop right now. I mean, I've been to different continents, but not like her, right? So we've been to Dubai, we've been to Spain, we've been to Paris. I went island hopping on Greece. We're going to Johannesburg. We're going to the Philippines, Nigeria. We're going to Dubai in December and so many other places. And during all those things, we're also having a nationwide tour. Yes, absolutely. We kicked it off with Dr. Erica's book launch. Stay tuned because we're going so many other places. But I'm going to turn it over to the founder, the female founder. Listen, she is in a male dominated industry. She has broken glass ceilings. She's challenged the norm. And what she's created has been nothing shy of explosive. Without further ado, the next voice you will hear will be the of Pauline Kirk. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Tina. So yes, my history does not define me. My past does not dictate my future. And yes, like Dr. Tina says, I'm standing in front of you today, the most amazing woman that I can be. And now I'm here to support and serve every single woman on the planet because my mission is to ensure that we eradicate the financial statistics of women and where they are today because they're not looking good, ladies. And why I'm talking about this is it's so important. So just to give you some stats, 20% of women that work today will retire with $0. 1 in 5 of us who actually have jobs today, or actually have businesses today, will retire with nothing. Now, there's several reasons for that. And I want you to write down where, like Dr. Tina says, have some pen and paper. I want you to write down this number, the number 71. The number 71 is important because 71% of women today leave money in their banks because we have no idea what else to do with it. I gave it to the wrong person. In my community, I show you what to do with your money. And the reality is the banks are not our friends. So just to give you some real stats. If you leave your money on a standard bank account today, paying, if you're lucky, 0.5% in interest, it will take you 144 years to double your money. Let me say that again. If you leave your money today in a standard bank account, it will take you 144 years to double your money. And this, ladies, is one of the reasons why we're retiring with nothing, because we're not around to see it. And today we have the benefit of high interest accounts. So yes, for all the things that inflation's bad for, if we have savings, for middle income earners who have savings, if we just moved it one simple step to move it into a high interest account, it means it will take us less than 20 years to double our money on either a 4 or 5% interest rate. It will take us less than 20 years. Now, I'm likely to be around in 20 years. The likelihood of 144 is literally at the moment near to impossible. Okay? The other fact is, ladies, that we're living longer. We're living longer than men. So 56% of women I know from surveys that we've done, my husband does all the investing. Now, he's not educated either. No offense to him, but he's probably not educated himself because no one teaches this stuff. So the reality is, if you're someone who outsources everything to their husband, at some point, ladies, you're going to have to get educated. Why? because either we are living 8 years longer than men, or we get divorced at a 48% divorce rate today. So it's some time in your life you're going to have to know about money. So today's a good date to start. Okay? These also aren't our friends, our mobile phones. Reason why? We look at our phones today on average 344 times. Yes, that is the statistic in 2023. 344 times that we look at our mobile phone. If you're someone who uses their phone to pay for things now, very much like my story and my credit card, everyone is using one of these today to pay for things. Apple Pay and all those sorts of types of technology sounds great, but it's very much a convenience thing. Tap, tap, tap. Before I have to take the phone, the credit card out my wallet, most people just have this in their hand today and they just tap online. That's the reality. Our brain doesn't even register now that we're spending money. And talking of spending, I don't like to use the word budgets. It's like diets. It feels restrictive. I don't want to feel restricted in my life. I felt restricted in my past. I don't want to feel restricted now. So what I call it is a spending plan. So when you call it a spending plan, it's a bit more exciting. So budgets are a no-go. Okay? And what else I talk about is the financial life jacket. That's right, the financial life jacket. That is where I put my money. It's in an emergency savings account. So if I ever need that money in a high interest account that I can access at any point in time, I have the emergency life jacket when it comes to my finances. So many people go, I'm going to go all in and buy property. I'm going to go all in the stock market. But they forget to put money away for a rainy day. That is your life jacket. So do not invest the life jacket. Okay? So I hope this is resonating with everyone. I hope we're taking lots of notes. The other key part to remember here, Ramsey Solutions did a study back last year. I want to give you the American statistics. I appreciate we're global, but Dr. Tina is based in the US, and I thought I'd give you the US statistic. 36% of people, it's a survey done last year, 36% of people have zero savings. I'll say that again. 36% of people today have zero savings. And for those that do have savings, 19% have less than $1,000 in their account. So that leaves 45% of people. 45% of people have over $1,000 in savings. We can't keep working forever. So we have to think about today and have a spending plan for today. We have the life jacket for today, because the reality is that we can't work forever. And therefore we have to put a little bit away every single often. Remember I spoke before about my financial success habits. That's one of my financial success habits, was to put a little bit away every single month. So if you're someone who's an entrepreneur, pay yourself a percentage every single month and make sure you pay yourself. So many people own businesses and yet forget to pay themselves. Then we've worked so hard in our businesses, we have nothing to show for it financially. So if you're someone who's a business owner, entrepreneur, please pay yourself a percentage. I never say a dollar amount because every month is up and down in terms of how much money comes in and out. So please pay yourself a percentage amount every single month. If you're someone who's an employee of a company, please put away and make a commitment again to yourself, a percentage every single month. Now, appreciate your money's a bit more, probably the fact that you get more or less the same amount of money every single month, but we also may get bonuses. We may also get pay rises. So if we're fortunate enough to get those, please commit to putting a percentage away every single month. The success habits is what's going to make you successful. And most of us don't do simple. I like to keep things simple. So what? Raise your hand. Okay, type in the chat. All of us need to save and invest. True or true? The reality is we all know we need to save and invest. But the real reason is we actually don't know why we want to save and invest for, which is why we don't save and invest. And this is the reason why I became so successful in what I did, is because I got clear. I got a goal. I said, you know what? This is what I want in my life. And I went out, I wrote it down, and I made it happen because I actually committed to it. You can see behind me a lot of Post-it notes on my wall. They're Post-it notes by month because I actually take the time to schedule it in. What I do is I have a goal, I make it a big goal, and then what I do is I break it down into little bite-sized chunks So for example, I had a client who says, I want a beach house. She wants a beach house. I said, okay, so go on the internet, find me a picture of your beach house that you think is a little bit stretched, but realistically, you think you're going to be able to afford at some point in time. So she found me a picture of a beach house. And I said, everywhere you go, put a picture in your purse. So every time you take out your credit card to spend money on that lovely green pair of trousers or those new shoes, you actually see the beach house sitting behind you. And then you have to make a decision to go, you know what? What's more important? Do I want the beach house, or do I want those green pair of trousers, or do I want those new pair of shoes? And those little things are what makes the difference. For those who know Tony Robbins, big guy hands, very much a life coach, he's a person who changed my life. And he said it's about a 2mm shift. For me, it's just putting one foot in front of the other. And if we do 1% every single day, and there's 365 days in a year, every single day we're going to be a new person. By the time we get to the new year, we're a brand new person. How exciting is that? And those are the little things that I did to change the way that I think. Because if I didn't, I could easily slip into my old habits. But I had to keep focusing on the future. What is it that I want from my life that's going to put me and my money away to save and invest because it becomes a bit more exciting? Most of us today are not happy about something in our lives, which is why we go out and spend money. If we think about it, if we really think about it, we treat ourselves because we're not happy about something, whether it be in our relationships, whether it be in our careers, in our businesses. I deserve it, therefore I need it. Therefore I go and spend money. That is what happens for most of us. What I do is I get to the end of the month, you go, you know what? I'm going to give myself something really small because all these things that I did achieve. It doesn't need to be a big thing. It can be something simple as I'm just going to go for a walk in fresh air today. It can be I'm just going to have a quiet night in with some candles and a bubble bath. And that's okay. Everyone thinks that things have to cost money. And yes, everything's getting more expensive. So therefore we have two choices. We have to earn more, or we have to find ways to save more money. Okay, which is why I talk about spending plans. So please think about that every time you go and spend money. Is this essential? Yes or no? And Uber Eats is not essential. Okay. So I want you to think about your food in terms of what you're eating and how often you're spending money. Entertainment for most of us is where we generally put most of our money. Okay. Going out, hanging out with friends, dinners, those things, yes, they all cost money, but you have to think about, I still want to do those things, but do I need to do them as often as I should? Now, I go through an exercise with some of my clients, and I call it the joy exercise. If it's something that brings you a level 10 joy in your life and it's going to contribute to life, then keep doing it. But it has to bring a level 10 joy. So when you have example of my beach house, and that's a level 10 joy for my client, she has to think about, is everything else that now I go and spend money on bringing me a level 10 joy as well? And if it's not bringing me a level 10 joy because the beach house is the one thing that I really, really want in my life, then you have to think about it. So am I going to spend money on those things that are going to add up over time? And realistically, most time we spend money, be amazing. Some of the clothes even I had, where the tags were still on the clothes. I was taking them to the charity shop and they still had the tags on them. So for most of us, we're spending money on things that, quite frankly, it's because we're not happy about things. We have to find ways to make ourselves happy. And realistically, that comes internally within here. So we have to think about, what is it that's going to make us happy outside of spending money on shopping? And I had to do a lot of work on myself to go, what's going to bring me joy in my life? For me, listening to a podcast and going to get to walk fresh air every day brings joy in my life. The fact that I get to wake up every single morning and I have my mind, my feet touch the floor, and I'm breathing brings me joy in my life because I get to live another day. There's people living in hospital beds who dream to have the life that we have, where they can get out of bed every single day. And there is not a price tag people would pay on that, whether you're a millionaire or billionaire. One thing that money has taught me over the years, and I've spent a lot of time with very wealthy people, is that there's this view that money is automatically going to make us happy. And the reality is that it's not. Because if that was the case, every millionaire, every billionaire, every influencer, every famous celebrity would be the happiest people on the planet. And the reality is that they're not. Look around. They're not happy in their relationships. They're not happy working with the people they're working with. So we have to find our inner happiness, and whatever that is for us. So I want you to write down for you what's going to bring you joy in your life. Just take a few moments. What brings me joy in my life, for someone who has so many things on offer to her, is the smile I put on someone's face. I support refugee children go to school in countries where they have to be sponsored to get an education. That's what brings me joy in my life. What brings me joy in my life is the women in my community when they said, "Thank you, Pauline. I can sleep at night and I'm at peace because I don't let my money control me. I control my money." What brings me joy is the fact that my husband and I are in the process of building a school in India so we can support more children get an education. These are the things that bring me joy in my life. Now, I'm not going to lie, they're not always the things that brought me joy in my life. Looking back before, the designer clothes, the shoes, the bags, the handbags, they used to bring me joy in my life, or so I thought. But the reality is it was all superficial. I wasn't happy, and those things brought me joy in my life. Sometimes we think that we have to spend money in terms of give money to charity to bring joy in people's lives. Even this weekend, I did some voluntary work for a beautiful children's support network here in Singapore. I just volunteered my time. And I had so much fun with the kids. We had a photo booth. We got to do some little emojis on our pictures this weekend. It was amazing. That for me was giving joy in my life by seeing smiles on other people's faces. No amount of money, as far as it's easy for me to say, going, "Oh, it's easy for you to say you have it all." But if you're someone who's not happy now, having more zeros in the bank account, you're still going to be the same on the inside, just with more zeros. So I want you to think about what's going to bring you joy in your life, because when we do have money in our lives, they're the things that's going to make the difference. And I'm not saying money doesn't bring happiness, because I'm going to be straight honest. Seeing the smiles on my family's faces when I've done certain things for them. I flew my family over to Singapore. I flew over my parents, for example. I flew over my niece and nephew, and they all had a great time here just before COVID. That, for me, is putting a smile on other people's faces. Getting to do other things for other people. There's days when I just walked up and said, "Oh my God," just smile and said, "Oh my God, honey, your outfit looks amazing. It looks stunning today." Just by some random person in the street. Seeing that person walk away with a smile is going to make their day. Those things a lot of things don't actually cost money, and we think that we need money to make ourselves happy. And I've learned over time that money just exudes who we already are. So yes, Femvestorsglobal, the community that I created because I wanted to change the financial statistics of women. We've supported hundreds of women already in our community. We're helping so much more. We're an ecosystem. So for every woman who comes through one of our programs, paid, we do a lot of free stuff online, but every woman who comes through any of our paid programs, we actually donate that money to charity. I don't take any money from this organization because I want to make the difference. So if you're someone who's stuck, who's someone who goes, "You know what, I don't even know where to start with my money," Femvestorsglobal is here to support you so you can make better decisions when it comes to your own money. I teach from the heart. I teach you what I already know. I've learned so many lessons along the way, whether it be our money stories, the things that we tell ourselves, getting out of debt, getting started with investing, what to think about, what to not think about when it comes to money, how to get not ripped off by your financial advisor. I've seen it, and therefore I can support every single one of you regardless of where you are. because, as I said, our past does not dictate our future. And every single one of you listening right now has an opportunity to do something different. But to begin, you got to begin. And it starts today.
Woo! I don't know about you guys, but I got chill bumps. If you have chill bumps or you were moved, like literally, because she didn't talk about herself, right? She just gave us examples. And if you feel that your financial life is not in order, right? Because we are a holistic being. So, yes, every single part of us. And I just want to share some of the comments in the chat. Like, look at Glendora, level 10 joy. She said, I can do my toes by myself because going to Johannesburg enjoyed her life.
I love it.
I love it too,
I love it,
Pauline.
Glendora.
She's like, forget a pedicure. I'm going to do my toes myself. Yes, she is amazing. She is one of our premier members of Global Women Speakers. She is a licensed therapist. She has something called Laugh Out Loud Therapy, Pauline. And I would love to bring it to Singapore when we do our conference there. I told her that we're taking it nationwide and we're working on some things. And LA is going to be explosive. She is truly a servant driven leader. What she does for her clients is unprecedented. And like literally, it's borderline unreal because she's more than a therapist. She is their friend that holds them accountable. That's how I see her. And yes, so we're going to Johannesburg. Those of you who are listening to the sound of my voice that will love to speak in Johannesburg or share your message and your services literally around the globe or simply network with women from all over the world, then you definitely want to go ahead and hit that. You see that QR code right there? Right there. That QR code, it will lead you to our job form, or you can simply go to here, globalwomenspeakers.com. Because here's the deal. Not only are we going to Johannesburg to speak at the university, we are actually going to do a TED salon. Being associated with the TED brand is unbelievable. There are so many people. Even Pauline, tell us about your TED Talk.
So my TED Talk's not come out yet. So we've just done the recording. So we're doing some work behind the scenes because I've actually just joined Asian professional speakers here in Singapore.
Yes.
So we're actually doing some amazing work. So we have a big conference coming up next year here in Singapore. So we'll have to send out the details once I have more clarity around the dates. But
Yes,
definitely we'll have something
absolutely.
next year. And we had an amazing one. If anyone knows Singapore, where they have the ship on top of the hotel, we were there this year. So it was amazing.
Wow.
We had a 3-day event. So it was pretty spectacular.
Okay,
So yes, we're going to be doing more work in that space.
So wait, I have a question. So are you of Asian descent in any capacity?
Nope.
Okay. So ladies, you said you grabbed your pen and paper because we want to give you some networking. Listen, not nuggets, not gems. We want to give you some networking strategies. That is extremely important. So you're not of Asian descent in any capacity, but you're in Singapore. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And so you joined an Asian organization. How does that work? Why?
So it's open to everyone. So it's Asian professional speakers, just because it's based here in Asia, but doesn't matter your background. It's open to everyone.
Absolutely. And that is the same for a myriad of organizations. And so people wonder, like, okay, so why are you going here and there? Like, yes, we go to Dubai. We're going to the Philippines. We just came from Madrid, from like literally, ladies, I want you to do 3 things. 1, join an organization of people that do not look like you. Start networking. Number 2, I want you, for example, I'm going to use an example. One of my clients in the 6-figure incubator, she is a notary. I had her cancel 2 of her notary associations memberships. She was livid. She was like, I'm going to do it because I said I was going to be coachable. And she's like, but why? And I said, just please, just try it. Just go ahead. And so she canceled 2 of them. And I had her join the Association of Realtors because whichever profession, whichever organization, you don't have to be a lawyer to join the law association. They have something called, listen, a paraprofessional, a citizen, a partner, a community member. They have all of these things. Most organizations have that. And so I had her join this other organization, and she's like, I don't see the purpose, but whatever. She goes to a conference. There's a young lady in the parking lot crying. She's just human and says, so are you okay? Is there anything I could do to help? She's like, no, my dad's property is in probate. My siblings and I are feuding. And I just need, I'm not even going to be able to attend the conference because I have to go see a notary. She goes, well, I'm a notary. And so guess what? She has a notary right there. That didn't save the day. That's okay, right? So that was one. The second thing happens, she goes in, she's looking around like, why is she here? Attitude, right? Attitude. Had an attitude, just sitting there. And the faculty, whoever was speaking at the time, asked a question that the realtors didn't know, but it was a notary question. She answered the question, and what do you think happened after the conference was over? People came to her to ask more questions, and they found out that she was a notary, so they needed services. Ladies, she literally partnered with an agent and goes into that particular office Tuesdays and Thursdays for 4 hours for absolute free. There is no cost. It's just an alignment. They're serving each other. And I can tell you this, not only learn a different language, not only join an organization, just as a paraprofessional or someone that's interested, because I believe in alignment before assignment. And so the third thing I would love for you to do is create strategic partnerships, alliances, and collaborations. It's extremely imperative if you want to thrive. If you want to thrive. Most of you who know me, I speak a little of a lot of different languages. I love languages, but most importantly, I just love the people. So yes, I speak Spanish. Yes, I speak Tagalog, right? I'm going to the Philippines. Like, I didn't know that I would be going to the Philippines at all to get in the, I never knew. I never would have thought. But I began to learn Tagalog because in the medical field, most of our nurses are Filipino. And there is something that is totally powerful. It's impactful. When you begin to attempt, it's okay if you sound funny, to speak another person's language, it shows that you're not interesting, but you're interested in them. When I was learning Spanish, do you guys know that there's two words, right? For hot in Spanish. Pauline, do you know a little bit of Spanish? Do you know a word for hot? Anybody? Hashtag a word for hot in the chat. If you know a Spanish word that means hot, put it in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and see what words we're getting. Anything. Is there anything at all that means that, okay, so calor is hot, and so is caliente. Caliente, those both, they're synonymous, right? They mean the same thing. Caliente and calor. Calor y caliente means hot. Yes, fuego means hot. That means fire. Fuego is fire, right? So, and it can also mean hot. So caliente, calor, fuego, which is fire. I don't use it synonymously to hot. But here's the deal, you guys. Faye just said she's brought Babbel full lifetime account. I love it. And she's going to learn French because she's coming to Paris. Yes, I love it. And so I didn't know the difference. I was learning Spanish. I was only 16 years old. And I remember I was working at Taco Bell and it was so hot in there. And I'm standing at the register like this and I'm fanning myself. And I said, "Hace caliente," like tengo caliente. That's what I said. If you say I'm hot or it's hot, you say tengo calor. That means I have hot, meaning your state of being is hot, right? Tengo calor, like it's hot. But I was saying, like, colors of the weather. I was saying tengo, I have, not heat. I was saying heat in regards to being horny. I was saying tengo caliente. And they were just laughing. And I was like, see, they love it when you speak their language. Ladies, I was saying that I am horny because I didn't know the word means that I was having heat. I was a female and I was in heat. Tengo caliente means I have heat. But I thought it meant the same. So I'm standing there and they were just laughing. And then one of the managers came over and said, I just want to pull you to the side. I know that you're eager, you're young, and you're learning, but please stop telling every customer that you are horny. And I said, excuse me? I was offended. I was shocked and appalled. But yes. And so could you imagine? And I just laughed at myself. It did not stop me. I continued to learn even more intently after that because I did not want to use the wrong word. And I just thought that they were accepting, they were loving people. And no, they were like, okay, good. Like, what time you get off work? That's great. You know, they were just grinning, like, woo. See, Pauline is just laughing at me. But I want to tell you, sometimes you have to learn to laugh at yourself. So, yes. So do not say tengo caliente, say tengo calor, right? Right. So, yeah. So I have to share that. So, learn a language. I want you to partner and align with the right people, collaborate, build strategic alliances and partnerships, and join organizations of people that do not uh, look like you, people do that. You can join a language and not speak their language. They translate for them in English. You don't think they would translate in Thai, that they would translate in French for you? Yes, absolutely. Get out of your own way. Be uncomfortable. We are a global organization. And if you're going to be compensated in dollars, then why not yens and pesos and francs and dirhams? Why not? Why not? And most importantly, why not build global relationships? Your business is not a tree. Matter of fact, you are not a tree. Ladies, go ahead and hashtag I am not a tree. I am not a tree. You're not supposed to be stagnant. You're supposed to move. You're supposed to go into the nations. You have to move to create momentum. Right, Pauline? Is that correct?
Yeah. Otherwise, if we're not growing, we're dying. Otherwise, we're just a
Yes.
plant. We're just a plant. We just get fed and watered.
Just a plant, like a puppy, right? Patted, fed, and watered, right? No. So, Pauline, please do me a favor. Go ahead and put the name of Femvestor Global inside of the chat, the website. I want the ladies to go and check it out. I love it. Yes. She said, hashtag I am not a tree. How many hashtag I am not a tree? Yes. Glendora said caliente. Yes. Okay. Be careful with that caliente. It can be hot, but just don't say tengo in front of it. TENGO. You can't say I have heat because that's, another state of being, if you will. Yes. Okay. Yes. I am not a tree Facebook user. Laugh out loud. Oh, Glendora was laughing at me too. I love it. Also, the IG. Yes. Put your IG. Faith is asking for your IG. That's awesome. Yes. And the next thing you will see across the screen will be Pauline's website. Actually, it's going to be her website. So let's go ahead and put that up right now. All righty. Do you see that across the screen right there? That is the website, Femvestors Global, Women Investors. I love that. So tell us, how did you come up with the name Femvestors? How did you create that? Was it an epiphany? Was it a recommendation? Did you do a contest? How did you come up with that name? I love it.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Sina. So I actually started off with the female investor. And then a lot of
Right.
people were complaining on social media, going, you can't call us female. Females are like the toilets. There's some places that we go to, you can't call us that. So then I was like, I've done all this marketing and PR and everything else. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call it Femvestors instead. So yeah, so I just came up with Femvestors. So it basically means the female investor. So yeah, and we're global. We talked about it just now, Dr. Tina, in terms of being global. So our business is global. I have clients from the US, from Canada, from Europe, from Australia, New Zealand, Asia. So we are global in terms of what I teach.
Absolutely.
Like, yes, a K gets tailored. So a 401k, for example, in the US is the same as a superannuation fund in Australia, or it's the same as an ISA in the UK. So we talk about that in our community. So then we localize what we talk about. So some of us, yeah, so it's important to understand the differences. So, so we actually take the time, and I have a research team behind me. So depending on who's in my community, we can actually localize it. So then everyone's very clear around when I refer to certain things. It's like, well, it means this where I live. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that makes more sense now.
Yes, I love that. And if you were listening, Pauline just gave you a very imperative, a crucial branding nugget, gem, strategy, blueprint, um, scripture, if you will, because she just said that you can't use feminine investor because it means other things in other countries. When you're building a brand, if you ever plan on going global, you have to research those words. There are some colors that I love, but I could not make that the brand of my organization for Global Women Speakers because where white means joy and purity, it means something else in other countries. Where black stands for mourning in America, black stands for something else in other countries. The colors, we're talking about the psychology of colors in different places, and also words. You have to be very cognizant of where you're building, who your demographics are, because you have to speak their language. It is not what you like, it's what it means to the buyer. The psychology of buying is unbelievable. I encourage you, even if you do not enjoy sales, right? But you really should embrace it. Sales is everything. I mean, Pauline, let's talk about sales for a minute. I mean, you enjoy sales. I enjoy sales. We're women, right? So let's talk about sales really quickly before we wrap it up, because there are some powerful women. There are powerful women that are listening to this live right now. Matter of fact, if you are still with us an hour and a half later, I don't know how Pauline did it. She didn't tap out. Let's give Pauline a round of applause. If you're in the Facebook group, go ahead and show some emojis. If you're watching this live, go ahead and drop the emojis in the chat and just say thank you, Pauline. She is in Singapore right now. It's probably around 4:30, almost 5 a.m. She's been up since 3 a.m. strictly for a Global Women Speaker. She wouldn't do this for anyone else. So I love her. I appreciate you. So please go ahead and give her some love. Yes, Glendora just put Femvestorsglobal.com in the chat. Facebook user says, love the global advice, Pauline. Relevant wherever you are. Yes, Glendora, I am not a tree. Yes, Glendora. Yes, Glendora is still here. Faith James wants your IG. Awesome. Facebook user says, I am not a tree. Yes, you're right. You're not a tree. And Paulette says, caliente. I think she was trying to say caliente. She says calido. Okay, awesome. Thank you. There she go. Yes, she says caliente. Great, great, great. All right, ladies, really quickly, we're going to just talk about sales for a couple of minutes. If you have to tap out, we understand. But before you go, do us a favor. I want you to share this with a friend because they can watch it later. I want you to tag them in the Facebook group. I want you to go to the Instagram and tag them there. I want you to go to Twitter or LinkedIn and share it in groups. Share this. Pauline deserves a share. The information she just shared freely. Listen, she shared it freely, complimentary. It's a contribution because at some point in our lives, we must get past earning an income, being successful and making money, and living a life of significance and contribution. And that's exactly what this was today. Pauline, I don't take it lightly that you're here. I do not take it lightly. I am grateful. I'm humbly grateful that you decided to stop by here at your 3 a.m. Your 3 a.m. to give us these, I mean, like literally, like these principles, these laws, because they're laws, they're principles that we must follow, and helping me. If this Zoom was, if this live, this stream was for no one else but myself, I learned so much. And there's things that I must take action immediately. And I think I'm going to go start sleeping on people's floor. I mean, like, you got to do what you got. Like, I got to do something. I know, and I need a spending plan. Not a budget, but a spending plan. So that helps a lot. I appreciate you. I love you. I adore you. But before you go, let's talk about 5 or 7 tips on selling. Because ladies, I want you to embrace it. I want you to make it your skill set. And if you're not going to make it your skill set, I want you to have a spending plan so you can hire someone who has that skill set. Delegate or automate. Delegate or automate. So with that said, Pauline, go ahead. Your top 3 I would say lessons or strategies for simply learning sales. First of all, do you sell? Do you sell, Pauline? Do you sell?
Every day I sell. Being here, I'm selling right now. I'm selling, Femvestorsglobal and who we are and what we stand for in terms of a social enterprise. So the reality is, the way I look at it is, sales is service. I'm doing you a disservice by not talking highly enough about my community, because I'd be really sad if you didn't sign up, and it's free. Just join our Facebook group. It doesn't cost anything. So for me, I'm doing you a disservice by you missing out. Really, you're missing out on, more information, more education, more learnings. So I'm
Yes.
doing you a disservice by not selling you. And I look at it that way about when I apply everything when it comes to sales. I put myself in your shoes and go, what is it that you want? I'm going to find the gap, which is what I did, was around, there's so many women out there who need support when it comes to our money. And therefore, then I found the gap and found my little target to then go, right, where do I see myself and what is it I want to achieve? And my mission is to ensure that we eradicate the dire financial statistics of women and where we're headed. So if I can
Woo!
do that by,
No, you're
that's
gonna
exactly it.
pause, break, repeat that again. Pause, break, repeat that again. What are we gonna do? We're gonna break. I'm listening. If you're listening, I want you to drop the ear emoji that you are listening, because what Pauline has shared, what she's continually to share, and what she's inviting you to do is simply make your finances your business. Make it personal. Just like you do your self-care, you do your cosmetics, you do your beauty, your wellness, your fitness. Make your finances personal, because ladies, one day it will be. So Pauline, I have your Instagram up. I need you to go ahead and repeat that though. Go ahead and repeat that. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Our mission is to eradicate the dire financial statistics of women entering
Mm,
retirement.
mm, 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 mm. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Eradicate. I want you to hashtag eradicate in the comment, because I want you to look up eradicate when you get a chance. Look up eradicate. I'm going to type it in the chat and put it on the screen, because I want you to see exactly what we just said. Eradicate. Eradicate. You guys, it is no joke. No joke. I mean, like literally, when she talks about, I want you to think about the words that she's using. It shows her commitment, her dedication. It shows that it's her mission. Most importantly, it's her vision to eradicate, listen, poverty, lack of finances. She doesn't want you to have any lack. It is your birthright not to have lack. So I want you to go ahead and follow her, follow Pauline, join her community, allow her to eradicate poverty in your household. It's not about who's in our White House. For those of us that are in the States, it's not about who's in the White House. Who's in your house? Who's in your house? Are you going to control your house? Are you taking responsibility for what you have or don't have? Are you taking responsibility? You have the knowledge. And if you don't want the knowledge, do not come on Sunday Speaker Series. We've had everyone, a plethora of people, from Kate Hancock, who took $20 and turned it into $20 million. Plus, she has 3 hotels in the Philippines, and we're going there in October. We also had Derek Harper Jr., who has, listen, 25 businesses, and 3 of them are 8-figure, not 7, 8-figure. We had the Les Brown. We had Bill Walsh, and a plethora of high-performing multi-millionaires that were here freely. No one's paid to be here, and I'm not paying anyone to come. The people who are coming are aligned with our mission of simply being the number one platform for women entrepreneurs to share their messages, sell their products and their services, and network with women around the world. That's who we are. And the people who we bring to the forefront, we're aligned. Alignment before assignment. And Femvestorsglobal is aligned with our mission to set the captives free, to give us more expendable income so we can live the life that we deserve. Most importantly, do the things that bring us a level 10 joy. So really quickly, 3 tips on sales, and I'll give mine and we will close out. Pauline, over to you.
So number 1 tip on sale is looking at sales as service. It's for me is the most, it's what I live and breathe. For me, if I can just talk about putting myself in your shoes, I'm already selling to you. And that for me is the way that I live my mantra. So I can sit here today and say, hey, this is Femvestorsglobal. This is who we are. This is what we stand for. And therefore, I'm supporting you in around the fact that what we're trying to do and achieve. We're trying to tap into, why you want to save and invest, why we need to put money away for our future, why we need to think differently about tomorrow. So I'm hoping I'm doing you a service today by talking about who we are and what we stand for you to then go, wow, I'm going to take some action on that. I'm going to take one piece of information that Pauline gave me and I'm going to apply it. And this for me is the key, is I can talk to you all the time about selling anything, but the reality is that you have to do the work and take the action. And it doesn't need to be everything. It just be one thing. Just take one thing and apply it. For me is the most important part. The other part I'd say is you've got to have fun, be authentic, be your true authentic self, because no one hates the slimy, sales guy. Let's be honest. So if you show up and put yourself in your client's shoes and think about your client every single day, it's exactly what I live and breathe. Every day I live and breathe about what I can do different in my community. Stop and speak and breathe and then go, right, what is it that actually the ladies want to see in my community? And yes, we have men too, so we haven't forgotten about you men. But what does it that you actually want to see? So we actually sit down and take some time to reflect and go, right, give us a feedback. Feedback's a gift. Every time I run a course, every time I run a mastermind class, I sit there and say, give me the feedback, ladies, because if the feedback I get it, then I can do something about it and we can learn and grow. And we can do that together. So there are my 3 hot tips. Thanks, Dr. Tina.
Wow, wow, wow. Mic drop, mic drop. Mic drop. I mean, literally, if you have gotten any value from the Pauline Kirk, my sister, I adore her. She's in Singapore, and I keep telling her that we're going to do an event in Singapore if she can stay still for a moment. But she's also
Yes.
open to she's also open to coming to one of our events abroad and speaking on the stage of Global Women Speakers. She is a Global Women Speaker. She's unbelievable. Matter of fact, there's a little thing she has coming out today. She has a book coming out today. She thought I forgot. Yay. She has a book coming out. Make sure you tap into her. Please follow her Instagram. Yes, look at that. Woo! Yes, she is unbelievable. And so, ladies, I want to be really mindful of her time. She has been here for almost 2 hours, and I am ecstatic. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Pauline, for being here. I love you. I adore you. You are a rock star. You are the light that I know that people are looking for. And more importantly, if there's anyone that can help us with our money, I mean, I know most people think of Suze Orman, but I'm going to say that with all due respect to Susie Orman, I am going to say that you are the modern day, in my humble opinion, I'm going to say you're the modern day Harriet Tubman, leading people to freedom, setting the captives free. And I thank you so much for your work. I thank you for the lessons that you endured. I thank you for those sacrifices that you've made of lying on the floor, making a decision to be uncomfortable, to be on a hard floor and paying your credit card bill so you can come and help us, because what you went through was not for you. It was not for you at all. It was for me. It was for the women that are listening to the sound of your voice. It was not just for the US, but it was for an international movement. So I pledge allegiance to Femvestorsglobal, and I thank you for your time. I thank you for your contribution. I love you, girlie. Mwah. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dr. Tina.
She is unbelievable. Now, I'm just going to close out by giving you 3 things about sales. And this is extremely important. I mean, literally making my first 6 figures in 45 days, I made a massive decision to just go all out, massive action. And I'm going to tell you, there is something that happens when your back is against the wall, when you are a teenage mom, when you are living in the projects, when you are, and you can fill in your blank, right? You don't want to share your story. And I understand that because some people may be embarrassed. Some people are not healed from those things. You may be an abused woman. You may have been molested. You may have been raped. You may have been abandoned, lied to, left for dead, whatever that thing is. Don't wait until it happens. Make the decision now. Ladies, there are 5 months left of this year. 5 months left. We're already in August. So let's just say 4: September, October, November, and December. 120 days left. Use the rest of this year to do what you said you're going to do in January, the things you've always dreamed of, that thing that you were afraid of. Because I'm going to tell you this, it's absolutely not how you start. It's how you finish. And right now, you can stop at any point in your life and say, this is not how the 2023 is going to end. This is not how the story is going to end. And so I'm going to give you 3 things to do immediately. November is coming up. November, right? What happens in November? Wrong. I know you said Thanksgiving. Absolutely. But I'm talking about Black Friday. I'm saying that right now, it's only August. Prepare for your Black Friday sales. Listen up. Prepare your Black Friday sales. Yes, it's August, September, October, and then we have November. You have time. What are you going to offer? What solution are you going to solve? The height of consumerism is going to happen in November and December. Will any of that influx come into your household? Will it? Or are you going to be on the other side? We just talked about money. My uncle was a Marine. He taught me the 6 P's of success. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. So number 1, I want you to prepare to sell something for Black Friday. You need help with that? No problem. Book a call. I will help you come up with a product, a service, or something to offer. Have you ever heard of a makeup line called Crayon Case? I'm going to give you an example of what happens on Black Friday. And I see Pauline is still in the back. Pauline, look up the stats for the U.S. of the consumerism, the economy, how much money is made, not just on Black Friday, but what about Small Business Saturday? What about Cyber Monday? Pauline, pull up some stats for me. And so that's number 1, Black Friday. Prepare for Black Friday. Remember, we talked about doing the things that we want most over the things that we want now. I haven't shopped, maybe online. I bought a little something. I bought a little something online, right? But I haven't gone to a department store. I haven't been to Saks. I haven't been to Nordstrom's. I haven't been to Neiman's, right? I haven't purchased any clothing that is significant, right? Why? Because didn't I just share that I'm going to South Africa, that I'm going to the Philippines, that I'm going to Nigeria, that we're going to Dubai? Didn't I just share those things? Those are the things that mean the most to me, because what happens there is not just me investing. I'm going to absolutely make money while I'm there. And not just me. Dr. Erica is going to make money there. She's speaking on the education panel at the university. Glendora, she's a therapist. She's going to make money while she's there. Whitney, she's going to make money while she's there. Yes. Absolutely. Tiara is going over there with a weight loss product that's going to blow people's mind. Do you think anyone want to lose a little weight before Thanksgiving and Christmas? The highest times of weight gain and depression? Absolutely. Do you think Dr. Vanessa is going to make money while she's there? Absolutely. These are all investments. And there is nothing, in my humble opinion, that's more rewarding when you can travel the world, create a lifelong experience, things that you've never done before. You get to share your message, your passion with the world, and create once in a lifetime experiences and generate income, not just revenue, not just revenue. Not because revenue will pay your bills, but profits can transcend generations. Absolutely. So number one, Black Friday. Number two, right? We're going to sell something for Black Friday. That's number one. Number two, we're talking about sales. Sell yourself to yourself. I'm going to repeat that again. Sell yourself to yourself, because listen up, ladies. Listen up. Do I have your ear? You cannot out earn your image of yourself. If you don't feel you're worthy, if you don't feel your product is necessary, if you don't feel your program is better, or that it delivers value, or it's a value proposition, or you don't feel it's worth it, you can't sell it. You can't. So you have to sell you to yourself. We all have the fear of failure to some degree. Some of us just get over it and do it anyway. Some of us will jump off the cliff and grow our wings on the way down. Some of us will jump off the cliff and grow our wings on the way down. It doesn't mean that we're not scared. It just means that we're going to do it anyway. And I'm not asking you to be that bold. I'm not asking you to have that audacity. But what I am requesting and beseeching you to do is just do an internal and introspect checklist, inventory. What is that thing that's stopping you from earning money, from selling things? Is it because you're projecting your financial situation on your potential buyer? Is it because someone told you, fill in the blank? People are saying no one has money. Not true at all. You know, my godfather, Les Brown, who calls me Tina May, said, Tina, the pandemic is here, and there are going to be 3 types of people that come out of this pandemic. He says 3 types of people. It's going to be billionaires, number 2, millionaires, and number 3, ready? Witnesses. Billionaires, millionaires, and witnesses. Woo! How many of you, without a show of hands, was a witness? You watched what happened during the pandemic. You watched things be shut down, move virtually, and you saw people make millions of dollars. You saw people be creative, innovative, revolutionary, cutting edge, create products or services that were mandatory and necessary. And you watched it happen. Were you a witness? Were you a witness, or did you leverage? And I'm going to use the word capitalize off of the situation. Yes. Where were you? Did you become a billionaire? Did you become a millionaire? Did you make any type of income? Did you build a business? Did you create an infrastructure that would feed you and your family for the rest of your life? Or did you even make just a lump sum of money that you can invest in other things? Or, ladies and gentlemen, were you a witness? Were you the one who sat back, watched what happened, and said, I wish I coulda, woulda, shoulda? Were you glued to the tube, watching all the negativity, and became depressed or introverted? We all have a choice. And even if that were you then, don't let it be you now. It's about sales. Number three. So number 1 was what? Anyone put number 1 in the chat? Let me go to this chat. Let's see what's going on over here. Faith James says you cannot out-earn the image of yourself. Absolutely not. Facebook user says claps, claps, clap. I love it. Yes, absolutely. Black Friday. Yes, Glendora says thank you. Awesome. Yes, thank you, Pauline. Everyone is thanking you, Pauline. Yes, thank you, Pauline Kirk. Yes, thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Tina D. Lewis. You all have an amazing rest of the day. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Paulette. Awesome, 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 awesome. So number 1 was Black Friday. Sell something for Black Friday. Number 2 was sell yourself to yourself, because you cannot out-earn the image of yourself. And number three, because I only said that I would share three. Number three, I want you to be ready for number three. I want you to be ready for number three. I want you to be ready for number three because we're talking about sales. And I'm just going to have to do a number four and probably a number five, because number three is I want you to learn how to sell. Yes, there are some gurus out there. Yes, there's YouTube. I want you to learn how to sell. It's a skill set. Some people just have it. I get it. But if you don't have it, you can learn it. I didn't know how to speak Spanish, but I'm bilingual. Why? Because I learned it. I learned how to speak Spanish. I didn't have patience. I wanted it right now, not now, but right now. And I developed patience. It's a muscle. You may not have it, but you can develop it. You can learn it if you're patient with yourself. Your brain is powerful. And you simply just ask for the sale, ask for what you want. Oftentimes, we talk ourselves out of the sale. You tell someone what you have to offer, it matches their problem or it gives them a solution, right? And they want it. And they'll say, okay, well, how much is it? You don't tell them. You say, I'll send you a link. I'll send you an email. I'll call you later. No, they said, how much is it? Answer their question. Oh, it's $100. How would you like to pay? Cash or credit card? Would it be your MasterCard or your Visa? It's simple. That's not pushy. It's not salesy. They ask the question. It's your projection. It's your thoughts. It's your hindrances. It's not theirs. It is your problem. Yes, because you believe no one has money because you don't have money. But that's okay. Be okay with not having money. Listen, there's been a lot of times that I had not no money. I had no money. No money. No money. It's okay with not having money, but what's not okay is staying that way. And every single time that I did not have money, I created it. I created it. How did I create it? I created a business. I created a program. I created a community. I created something. And you can do the same. Create what you want. You must do it. You heard Pauline say she slept on the floor. Speaking of sleeping on the floor, I have a friend who's an Olympic gold medalist by the name of Althea Moses. I love her like a sister. She's from Belize. She came from Belize. And when she came to the United States of America, her and her mom slept on the floor. She remembers a cold floor. And that cold floor is what propelled her to build over a $10 million real estate portfolio. And it's probably more than that. It's what propels her to be a teacher, even though she does not need to work a day in her life. She calls that her play money. When you can have a career giving back to the children who need it the most, have a career that clears 6 figures and you can call it your play money, what would that be like for you? Would an extra $10,000 a year change your life? Help you become a little debt-free, a little more independent? Help you take that dream vacation with your family? Try $10,000 a month. Would that drastically change the trajectory of your family? And so I want you to learn how to sell. Sell yourself on learning, on being a sponge. There's so much knowledge in the world. We used to be in an agricultural stage, industrial era, and now it's information. There's so much information for free. Now, in the US, going to school, it costs you a great penny if you don't have a scholarship. I was fortunate to have an academic scholarship that my education was paid for. And I'm so just honored. And I worked hard for it, extremely hard for it. That may not be your story. But right now, today, there's free information. Even Pauline said that they give free information. So I want you to go to that free information and learn sales. Some of the salespeople that I enjoy, that I love when they talk about sales. There's a young lady by the name of Lisa Sasevich. She teaches you how to sell without being salesy. There's also some powerful men that I enjoy for sales. I just do. I just do. Darren Hardy wrote The Compound Effect. If I was to ask you, ladies, I want you to play along with me in the chat. If I were to ask you, would you prefer to have $1 million right now? Like, I will go into my purse. I don't have $1 million, but I have a couple hundreds. So let's just say I went into my purse and I was gonna say, here, I'll give you $1 million right now. I will give you $1 million right now. Or the other option. So door number one is $1 million. Door number two is a penny, 1 cent, a copper penny, doubled every day for 30 days. Which would you take? Go ahead and put it in the chat and be real. Not your new self. When you needed it the most, when you were sleeping on the floor, when you were hungry, when you were a struggling college student, when you were a teenage mom, what would you do? What would you do? I'm just curious. What would you do? Would you take door number one and take your $1 million and run with it? What would you do? I'm looking. Cyber Monday, absolutely. Listen, Cyber Monday in 2021 generated 10.7 billion. Somebody said they'll take the penny doubled every day. Awesome. America spent 8.9 billion online on Black Friday. Absolutely. Thank you, Faith, for that. Yes. Sell something on Black Friday. Sell yourself on yourself. And number 3, learn to sell. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Facebook user. So those are the 3 things. But will you take the $100, the $1 million right now, door number 1, or you would take door number 2 and take that penny doubled every single day? Well, because of the compound effect, that penny, that 1 cent will be $5 million on day 30. Yes, $5 million. And on the 31st day, it comes to $10 million. I want you to Google 1 penny doubled every single day. And you're going to see a chart. It talks about on day 1, it's 1 cent. Day 2, it's 2 cents. Day 3, it's 4 cents, right? You have a nickel on day 4. But I want you to Google 1 cent doubled every single day. It's unbelievable. It's the compound effect. I want you to listen to the book. I want you to buy the book, to read the book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been absolutely amazing. I love the fact that you showed up, that you engaged, that you were here because you want to grow. John C. Maxwell says, if you're not growing, you are dying. Nothing stays the same. It is a myth. Nothing stays the same. Not your skin, not your tight buns, not anything on your body, on your mind. Nothing stays the same. Your bank account, nothing stays the same. You are either growing or dying. And what are you doing? You must grow. You must grow. But in order to grow, you have to be in an environment that's arable. An environment that's arable means that it has the right fertilizer, the right soil. We talked about being a plant, right? And not moving, not going anywhere, just simply eating and being watered. That's not growth, ladies and gentlemen. That's not growth. You were created for so much more. And the time is now. And we're going to start with our finances. There's 120 days left. Yes, I didn't count the days left. Today is the 6th. So there's actually, 120 plus 24, 144 days left in this year, where I'm just going to give you those 24 days of preparation. I'm going to say it's 120 days left. What are you going to do with them? What are you going to do with them? Don't close out 2023 the same way you did 21, 22, 2018, 20. Do not close it out the same way. If you want something different, you have to not just do something different, but drastically do something different, like sleep on the floor, like give up a big bill, a big expense, a liability, so you can have that asset. Pauline shares that her and her husband is building a school in India. How many of you would like to have your name, your family name on a building that's changing the lives of people who need it the most? I remember going to USC, one of the top schools, and I used to see names on the building. And as I was walking through the campus, I used to be like, wow, how did they get their name on the building? They donated a tremendous amount of money. They made a difference. Their contribution educated myself and many people like me. And so what is your top 10 joy? What is your level 10 joy? What is that thing that you want to leave as a legacy, that you want people to know you as? What are you going to contribute? And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you. I promised that we would not be longer than our 2 hours when we first started Sunday Speaker Series. Listen, in December of 2022, we said it would be 4 hours. I'm like, I'm going to do something, a grand finale, and it'll be 4 hours. But you know what happened? It was not 4 hours. It wasn't 6, 8, 10. No, it wasn't even 12 hours. It was 14 hours. And I'm humbled that they will hang around, that they will share their messages. They came together to help and support other women. The same with January 1. Yes, on January 1, on New Year's, people said no one would show up. We didn't go 4 hours. We didn't go 6. We went 12 hours because I had to stop it. I had to shut it down. And so I am not blind to what's happening with Global Women Speakers. I just want to thank each and every one of you from the top of my heart. I say thank you. Shukriya. Shukriya, that means thank you in Hindi. Gracias. Mercy. Yes. Thank you. Wherever you are from, I thank you. Whether you comment, whether you are just simply present, I say thank you. And so the 3 things in regards to sales is 1, Black Friday. Number 2, sell yourself on yourself. And number 3, I want you to learn how to sell. That is a skill set. I don't care about AI, ChatGPT. They're amazing tools. But I can tell you this, nothing, and I will live by it, nothing will replace the human connection, the human touch. Learn how to sell to people, because that, my friends, will catapult your brand, your business, and your bank account. This is Dr. Tina D. Lewis. That is my story. I'm sticking to it. If you would like to speak on our Sunday Speaker Series, send us an email at speak@globalwomenspeakers.com. If you would love to be a part of a community of not-minded, but like-hearted women that support one another, that's traveling the world, that's making an impact, that's leaving a legacy for their families, that is a true sisterhood, then join us. globalwomenspeakers.com, globalwomenspeakers.com. You ladies and gentlemen have been absolutely unbelievable. Just your presence alone makes this worth it. And I promise you that we will show up every day, all day, every Sunday, every single Sunday, no matter what. It's been an honor. It's been an absolute blessing. And I wanted to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Dr. Tina D. Lewis signing off. Mwah! Love you guys. Bye-bye.